Today I'm going to be learning more about Germany by looking at someone else's experience living in Germany and the culture shocks they experienced. 6 years later, German culture shocks that now feel normal. So yeah, someone who's moved to Germany long term, 6 years, interested to see what shocked them initially, and then yeah, I guess when you live somewhere for so long, these things just become part of life. I've lived in Malaysia for 10 years, so there's definitely a lot of things that shocked me when I first moved here. That I just get on with now. Maybe I'll make a video on that sometime, but yeah, let's watch this one and learn about Germany.
What do you mean the grocery stores here aren't open on Sunday?
Huh?
Hi, my name is Steph, and I'm an American that's been living in Berlin, Germany for the last 6.5 years. In this video, I'm gonna talk about some of the culture shocks that I first experienced when I moved here, and how they are no longer shocking to me. If you've just moved here, or maybe you're thinking of moving here from the US, you might want to watch this video just in case there are no surprises, or maybe fewer surprises. I'm just trying to manage expectations. Okay, let's start. So as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, grocery stores here are closed on Sundays, and this was a huge shock to me. Typically in the US, I would go grocery shopping on Sundays. I didn't really have time on Mondays after work. I was tired. So Sunday was pretty much my grocery shopping day. So the first Sunday that I was here, I thought, oh, I'm just gonna go buy my groceries. When I saw that the stores here were closed, I was appalled. I was like, I'm gonna starve in the next 24 hours. What do I do? Then I realized, oh, I guess I'll be fine. It's one day. You gotta chill out. I believe that everything is closed on Sundays due to religious reasons. However, I think it's also in the Constitution that stores have to be closed on Sunday because everyone needs a day of rest, and Germans take their rest very seriously. Now that I've been here for so long, I actually kind of appreciate having this day of rest. It's a nice reminder that you don't have to be doing something all the time. Here in Germany, that's kind of what Sundays are for. Now I kind of embrace it and appreciate it, and I have now learned to plan better for my grocery shopping schedule. Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, that one I've definitely seen that a lot in a lot of videos, and yeah, for me, like, I mean, again, like I say, I live in Malaysia. Here, things are non-stop, not just on a Sunday, just every hour of every day, everywhere's open. The malls, the shops are all open till 10 p.m. That's every day of the week, including Sunday. So I like the accessibility that you can just go out anytime and buy things, but also for the quality of life, having that day of rest and just not having to think about, oh, I need to go shopping, I need to do this. You can just go for your cake and coffee. That definitely is more blissful for sure. Again, being from the UK, I think in the UK, Sunday's a pretty standard day for going shopping, and I think a long time ago it used to be the same as Germany. Actually, everywhere used to close, but over time they just opened up. But can you ever see that? Would you see the benefit of just opening these places on a Sunday, giving people the option who want it? Have you ever thought that that would be a good thing? Are you happy just to stick to the way it currently is?
The next one also has to do with German grocery stores and just shopping and consumption in general. In Germany, they don't have bulk stores. No Costco, no BJ's Wholesale Club. They don't have any of that here. At first, I was like, oh, I mean, it would be nice to buy a year's worth of toilet paper, but I guess it doesn't really make sense. After living outside of the US for so long, I've kind of realized that we do have the tendency to overconsume and buy too much, especially when it comes to bulk items. But here, there's not really that possibility. Germans are really conscious about how they consume, and they don't like to buy anything if it's not necessary, which is something I really appreciate and have kind of tried to adapt more into my lifestyle as well. A culture shock that I appreciate more and more as time goes on. Just buy what you need. This next one is...
Yeah, so do they not have like Costco in Germany? Have you ever had that? They have it in the UK. It's not somewhere I shopped at, but on a similar line, we do have those huge supermarkets where you can buy everything, not just groceries, but you can buy TVs, like travel goods, all the other nonsense as well. We get them here in Malaysia as well as the smaller supermarkets. But is that just not the thing here? Do you not have those big, like, huge things? I guess in America it would be more like a Walmart, something like that. Is there Walmart in Germany or like an equivalent of that? It's like the big, huge supermarkets, or is it all just the smaller local ones? Yeah, you don't bulk shop. That's more of a cultural thing, I think, as well. So is that just not the case? Is there people who like to bulk shop? And the benefit of that, it is over consuming in a way, but you do save money because you're buying in bulk. So there is that benefit too.
Something that you will absolutely experience if you move to Germany, and I think it might frustrate you a little bit in the beginning. German bureaucracy. Everyone's favorite subject here, right? The German bureaucracy here is no joke. I was so frustrated at first, and I really didn't understand, why is it like this? Why must it be XYZ? It's just a lot of pressure. Now, after being here for so long, I've come to accept that that's just how it is here. If you want to stay here long term and try to integrate, then you just have to deal with it. Sometimes I still get frustrated by it, but I also know that these systems are in place for a reason. That's just how this country works, and you kind of have to accept it. Germans just get stuff done that way. If it's with lots of paperwork that's printed out, fine. They are slowly moving towards digitization, which I'm very happy about, but you know, these things take time. So you really have to be patient when you are encountering German bureaucracy. And honestly, just laugh about it, because that's all you can do sometimes. Speaking of bureaucratic paperwork, what do you do when you have a lot of paper and you need to throw it out? You don't just throw it in with the rest of your trash. This is the next culture shock that I had when I first moved to Germany. Separating your trash. There is such a system for it, let me tell you. You can't just put everything in one container. No, absolutely not. You have to put the plastic separate from the paper, separate from the glass, separate from the organic waste, or Biomüll. This was such an adjustment for me. In the US, we also have garbage disposals where you can just toss in food scraps and turn on a switch and it grinds everything up. But having a garbage disposal in Germany is actually illegal. I mean, it makes sense. Like, it could be really dangerous for little kids who accidentally stick their hands in there, or adults for that matter. So I kind of get why they don't have it here. But anyway, back to sorting the garbage. Within most, or I would say all apartment buildings, they have separate bins for all the things. So there's one for general waste, there's ones for organic waste, plastic, and you also have to make sure that even after you separate your glass, you have to separate the glass colors. There are often on the streets these...
Okay, that one I've not heard of before. Do you really need to separate the glass colours like that? I live, as I said, live in Malaysia. Here, actually, recycling is quite common as well. Like in my apartment building, call it condo, every floor has got like the separate recycling bin, so we always recycle our things. We've got one bin on the landing where we'll recycle it, or we'll separate the recycling things and the other garbage. This is like very getting into like the nitty gritty here, like recycling by colour. I didn't know that was even a necessity. Even going back to that thing about the garbage disposal thing, have you ever actually used one of them? It says it's illegal in Germany. I've never seen one. Being from the UK, I've never seen a house that's had one. It's only, like, to my knowledge, an American thing. So yeah, I've never really seen the benefit of them. But yeah, interesting to know they're illegal in Germany.
There are often on the streets these glass containers where you can toss glass that is no longer needed, but you have to separate it by color. There's white glass, green glass, and brown glass. Also, if you don't sort your trash correctly in your building, you could get a fine. Make sure that you definitely separate your trash in the right way. Another culture...
Okay, so that one, yeah, like I would say my building has things like that. A lot of buildings have that here, but I don't think there's any punishment for not doing it. Like, I don't even know how they would find that out, but yeah, I guess it's a good way to enforce it, or it's a strict way to enforce it, at least anyway.
Culture shock that I experienced when I first moved here is now something that I love dearly, and that's Sprudelwasser, or sparkling water. When I first moved here, I did not like sparkling water at all. It always tasted kind of funny to me. And I was all about that American still ice water. You know what I'm saying? Here, it's not a thing. You can go into a cafe here and sometimes, or I would say most of the times, at least in Berlin, they have tap water. The default that Germans typically ask for is sparkling water. I even found out that Germans also start drinking water that's sparkling as babies or kids. Not necessarily that they drink it out of a bottle like this, but a lot of people have carbonators in their homes so that they can add carbonation to tap water.
Is that true? I don't even know if I've heard of that before. A carbonator for water? Have you got one of them? I don't even know what that would look like. So you can take tap water, and what do you do? It's like some sort of filter or something. You can put it in, and then it comes out fizzy. I'll need to Google that afterwards, man, to see what that even looks like.
People told me that they never knew a time where they only drank still water. It was always sparkling, which is so crazy to me. In the US, sparkling water is kind of looked at as something fancy, like you'd get it if you go out to a nice dinner, but no, here it is the default. As I said initially, I didn't really like the sparkling water, but now I love it. Like, this is what I would go for first over still water. I have to say, most of my American friends here haven't adjusted to it, or they just still prefer still water over sparkling water, but not me. I'm a full Sprudelwasser girly. You're not supposed to cheers with water, are you? While we're on the topic of German obsessions, let's move on to the next culture shock. Spargel season. You might not know what I'm talking about. Germans are obsessed with Spargel, aka white asparagus. You bring up Spargel to a German and they start waxing poetic about it. Like, it is the most amazing thing in the world. Honestly, I don't get it. I've tried it before. I think it's fine, but they will talk to you about how it's grown and how it's so incredible and the process of it, and it's like
is
this
that true? You're knowledgeable about
vegetable from the ground. I don't really know. I'm still like trying to understand it, but to each their own. Maybe I haven't tried the right white asparagus dish. So if anyone knows any places in Berlin that I can try Spargel during Spargel season, please let me know, because I am willing to be proven wrong that Spargel is actually better than green asparagus. Up till now, I still prefer the green. Speaking of being green, what a terrible transition. Everyone here bikes. This is gonna sound very ignorant of me, but I didn't spend that much time in Europe before moving here, and I always thought that the place to bike was the Netherlands. Everyone in Berlin also have bikes. I guess that's something that I didn't really realize when I first moved here. People here love to bike. Let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if this is not exactly a thing in other cities. I can imagine in smaller towns or cities that maybe it's not as popular, but here, like, it's definitely a thing. It's life-changing. Not only is it more eco-friendly, but I just prefer being on my bike so much more than being in the U-Bahn. It's more comfortable, I get fresh air, it's faster to get from point A to point B. It's just a nicer feeling, you know? Now it's something that I just absolutely love and totally embrace as part of my lifestyle. And finally, moving on to the last culture shock, which is still kind of a shock to me. When people move to a new apartment here, they sometimes have to build their own kitchens. And if they are not building a brand new kitchen, they can take their old kitchen from their previous apartment and reinstall it into their new flat. When I moved into my current apartment, I had to build my whole kitchen by myself, or I paid someone from IKEA to do it because I don't do that. In a way, it's kind of nice because I could design it how I wanted to, but then the thought of if I ever have to move again, I don't know if I would move this kitchen with me. You know, what if the measurements of the next place are not the same? It's kind of crazy to me to think that people just kind of cut their kitchen from their current place and then paste it into their new place. It's a lot of effort, and it also seems like, I don't know, would you save that much money? Who knows? Who am I to judge? Like, this is just how it is here. Moving to Germany came with a lot of culture shock.
Yeah, like, what is the answer to that? Like, if the kitchen is different, like, dimensions, like, does that even work? Because I don't think I've ever stayed in any kitchen that's the same shape. It's always been, like, almost completely different sizes. Big, large, different, like, actual shapes, but, like, how do you do that? Like, because then surely you're going to have too much or too little for the new place and it's just not going to fit right, like, or kitchens like a standard size in Germany. That doesn't even, I can't imagine that would be the case. But yeah, I've heard that one before. It just doesn't make sense to me as in how that would even work. And of all the rooms, the kitchen has like the most things I can understand, like moving all the things in your bedroom, your cupboard, your bed, this and this. The kitchen is all things that are like solidly put into place, and like I can't even like visualize how that would work. Maybe I'll need to watch a video on someone actually like doing that, dismantling their kitchen and then rebuilding. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll do that soon. Okay, tell me what you think about that. Tell me what you think about the culture shocks here as well. Yeah, thanks.